My friends, fall is underway here at Everstoke. Temperatures are falling fast. A few nights ago, we hit 17 degrees as the low. This morning, we're at 21 degrees. So maybe it's about time to fix the constant frozen and bursting water pipe problem. Yes, teacher, I know this assignment was due about a month ago, but if I could just get an extension, I promise I'll knock this out. Toot sweet! As you probably know, the Wellhouse here is the epicenter of all our frozen pipe problems because this is where all the water is. So it may be 21 degrees outside, but inside the Wellhouse here, it is a nice 41 degrees. We have a submersible well pump 150 feet down this well casing here. It pumps the water out via electricity into this big old well tank, and this is what supplies us with our water in the system, the water pressure, all that stuff. And I've got some various other filters and stuff to keep the water clean. So we've been through 2 real deal winters out here at Everstoke. And each of those winters, we managed to bust the pipes at some point. We have a whole routine of draining the water and all that stuff, but oh man, every night you gotta drain everything, and it's just so easy for the cold temperatures to sneak up. I'm actually surprised that we only burst the pipes twice. And just last week, before any of the cold temperatures started, I was packing up to go home, and I just happened to look inside the Wellhouse, and there was a pinhole leak in one of the risers, and it was spraying water very subtly, but there was already a puddle starting to form. So I guess we're 3 out of 3 of bursting the pipes in the fall or the winter. It boggles my mind. I don't know even how that formed. Maybe it formed last winter, and now finally it's like worn down enough to burst. I shut everything down, stopped the leak, got in the van, headed to Reno, found a 6-inch nipple, came back home, stayed up till midnight fixing it all, and I think it's all good to go now. And while I was out shopping for nipples, I actually finally bought that heating line thing, the heating element that you tape to your pipes. Here, I'll show you. I forget what the actual brand name is, but you get the idea, right? There's a thermostat in here, it's plugged in, it turns on when the temperature gets low, and this little heating element heats the pipes up to keep them from freezing. And you know what I've been using to heat up my pipes recently? The new chocolate medley from Element, the fine sponsor of today's video. Element is going hot this winter with their brand new chocolate medley box. It's got 10 packs each of chocolate raspberry, chocolate chai, and chocolate mint. I'm not much of a coffee guy. I've maybe had 1 sip in my entire life. I'm not much of a hot drink guy, but I am an Element guy. I believe in the Element mission to restore health through hydration. Winter hydration matters too. We are less thirsty in colder weather and at higher elevations, but that doesn't mean you're actually hydrated. Element is 0 sugar, stevia sweetened, and fantastic tasting to make sure you beat the headaches, the cramps, the general tiredness that comes along with the lack of electrolytes. The Element thesis is very simple. Out with sugar and in with salt. They believe that most people, especially active people that get out and sweat, need more salt in their diet, not less, to perform their best. With the normal Element, I just put it in my water bottle when I'm doing a workout, going for a bike ride, or digging trenches. But with this new chocolate medley, oh man, there's a whole new world of recipes and creativity. Put it in your coffee, mix it with some milk, bake it in a cake. You can get that salt in you a lot of ways. Give that new chocolate medley a try. It's a limited time thing. And remember, Element always has a no questions asked return policy. I think you're gonna like it, but anything's possible. If you order through my link, drinkelement.com/BKXC, you'll get what you ordered and you'll get the 8 flavor sample pack so you can do a nice taste test and figure out what you're gonna get in your next order. That deal is only available through my link. Head on over to drinkelement.com/BKXC. And I got a bunch of pipe insulation. Also what I had on my bike when I was a kid to protect the family jewels when you would crash. I also did more spray foam in all these very hard to reach places all the way back. That was actually a wide open gap, which was allowing air, water, and critters to get inside the Wellhouse. Oh man, I opened up the Wellhouse a couple weeks ago and was greeted with a whole bunch of poop scattered around inside. It looked like mouse or rat poop. And I was like, oh no, not rats living inside the Wellhouse, not mice living inside the Wellhouse. And then I noticed there's a bunch of frogs in the Wellhouse. So I was able to remove them and send them to a nearby farm where they can live happily ever after with a big pond and all that stuff, and sealed up the gaps and cracks, cleaned off all the poop. We should be good to go. We've got the well house under control, kinda, sorta, but we have added in some pipe bursting problem centers over the past couple months. We have the tiny house now that you can come up and stay in whenever you want. It's got a sink, it's got a shower, it's got a toilet, and we've also added an outdoor toilet here at the Grumper and a sink to wash your hands and do your dishes. And right now we're just running all of this on garden hoses, and you can see that that pipe is frozen up real nice. It's time to get rid of the garden hoses and do it right. We have been digging trenches for the past 2 days. Aaron got us started with the big bad trenching machine, doing the bulk of the work. And then yesterday, I just spent the whole day knocking out high spots with rocks and roots. And we're very, very close to being able to lay some pipe. Needless to say, it is brutal work digging the trenches out here, but it's not too bad when the sun is out, not too cold, not too hot. But when the sun goes down on my side of town, we found out firsthand yesterday morning, it got down to 22 degrees. I didn't drain out the toilet. I thought I had drained the pipes, but I didn't actually clear everything. And the toilet was a mushy mess for a very, very long time until the sun was actually beating down. I kept coming back to the toilet every half an hour to check if it had thawed out yet. I would like to have used the bathroom. It was not an emergency, but it was quite a delay.
Splish splash!
So we're gonna finish up with this trenching stuff. The goal is to go 24 inches deep. Code says the frost line is 18 inches deep for the water line. We want to try to go a little bit deeper when it's possible. If you've ever dug a trench, you know that you're just struggling to get that last little couple inches when you're trying to go deeper. I'm gonna do 18 inches deep for the power line. I also bought the underground feeder direct burial power line, so I don't have to do a conduit. And the PEX that I bought is also direct burial for the water line. Holy moly, PEX is the ultimate DIY person cosplaying as a plumber. It's so simple. It's just so nice to do everything in one run. Well, eventually, we'll see if it is that simple. I haven't done it yet. I also bought this blue warning tape to put inside the trench, 6 inches deep. So if you're digging, all of a sudden you'll see this blue tape and think, oh, wait a second, I'm about to hit a water line. And I also have some red tape to do inside of the electrical trench as well. All right, the digging is done. And now we're gonna get some rigging going here. Let's see if this works. Yeah. Okay, this is definitely the crux section right here. We got a left turn, we got a right turn. We're getting close. Man, this is not that bad compared to doing a bunch of CPVC or other stuff. Especially not having to have a coupling. About 10 more feet. We're good on the first one. Whew. So now I gotta remember to not fill it up the whole way. I gotta leave 6 inches to put that caution tape in. Oh shoot, we gotta come through with the other water line.
We're good.
Damn. Okay, so that was just a quick little misstep. We got the dirt out of the hole, and now we might as well try to punch this through the well house here. We did a couple holes, and I already have the fittings all rigged up yesterday. So now we're just gonna fight this bad boy a little bit. Orange on the right is the tiny house. Took a picture on my phone and did a little note. Nice, easy. So now we're working on the water line to get over to the toilet and the outdoor sink. Looks like we have enough, huh?
Yeah, more than enough.
Stradivarius. Sweet. Glad to see that. Ah, the power line.
Yeah.
God. So it's the next day now, and we've got another 20-degree morning, but the Wellhouse has been standing up to the cold very well. I just checked in there. It's only 42 degrees. That's very, very good. I put a little spray foam in these holes last night because I was afraid of cold air coming up through and chilling everything out. So that's nicely insulated now. We started to fill in the trenches. Still a lot of dirt work to go today. Once you start filling in the trenches, everything starts to transform so quickly. Got to make sure to keep compacting it down, and dirt is a great camouflage. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I never want to see another trench again. All for what, 5 minutes of this video? Fill her up, daddy! Another chilly morning, and we have made some fantastic progress. We had the gravel truck come in and dump 2 full loads. We raked it all out yesterday. That actually went really quickly. Filling in all the trenches was fantastic, so satisfying. And now getting this area all flattened out and kind of nice and level-ish, just better, because this area is a muddy mess when it starts raining, and that's where you go to the bathroom. So if we want to get anywhere there's high foot traffic, dialed in. So now if I want to be able to use the toilet, I got to actually get this plumbing all going. And this cold weather right now makes this tube so hard to deal with. I think maybe the tiny house might be the easier plumbing job versus this and having to build a box or whatever the heck we're going to do. Okay, I'd like to get these water lines hooked up here, and I don't think I'm going to actually be able to cut this and measure it properly. So I'm going to take this off and actually see if that will help me out in any way. I could even make this different if I had to. Let's see what happens. Oh, way easy. Okay. Whew. This thing is tricky. You got to put it in this way, not that way. I kind of ruined a fitting earlier because of that. Give it the old eyeball test. That's how the real plumbers do it. I guess I could hack off a decent amount and then get a little more accurate. Stubby. Holy moly, I thought I drained all the water out of this thing. There's still water dripping out. All right, the eyeball test looks good enough from here, so let's commit. Yeah. Oh, still water in there. God, you can't ever get the water out. Man, it looks like I nailed it. Okay, one more push. Yes. It's pushing out just a little bit here. I could raise this thing up a little bit if I care to do it. Okay, now it's time for the first test here. I'll put this bad boy on just to control the flow temporarily. Okay, let's turn on the grumper, and that's on the left side according to my notes. There we go. Are you ready? Woo! Whoa! Still establishing water pressure. There we go. Whew. At least the sun's out. Let's go up and do the same thing for the tiny house. A little more dirt in this area. I don't want to create a full-on muddy mess. I think this is always an important step, whether it's your sprinkler hose or whatever kind of hose. You just want to make sure that any kind of dirt or any other type of detritus is out of the line. Oops. Shoot my shot. Okay, my guesstimation here is, I'll go extra long so I don't mess it up. So here's my little mock-up here. The water comes in from the well house. It can go up into the tiny house. And then if we shut it off at the well house, we can drain the water with this valve here. You could add another ball valve here to have a more isolated shut off and stuff, but it's 26 bucks for each one of these. So it's just easier. Turn it off at the well house. And I need to go back to the store because I bought the wrong fitting. This is supposed to be a male hose thread, not a female hose thread. Oops. So of course my instinct is to just go back to the store and get that part, but I should probably just go try to plumb up the grumper and the sink and then realize that I forgot some other bits and pieces and not have to make 2 or 3 store runs. Okay, I got them labeled in before I forget. Grumper, tiny house. And in case you didn't know, the grumper is what we call our toilet. It has also been about 2 full days since the toilet's been working. It's about time to get that working. I can feel it. I bought all these fittings and they all have a specific purpose, but I'm finding it hard to concentrate. Okay, here's what I got so far. I really do enjoy doing these puzzles. The plumbing puzzles are very rewarding and you always usually get something wrong and you gotta fix it, but I'm gonna kind of be sad when all of it's just done and you can just turn on the water and it works. I'm gonna probably build a little box around that whole thing. I should have dug by hand all the way to here. I don't know why I didn't. I was so tired of digging the trenches that's probably why I got lazy. But we could build a little box here and no one will ever notice it because we put a table over this for the dishes and everything for now. And then this is gonna go to the sink. This is gonna go to the toilet. So even though I still have quite a bit of work to do, I covered this up with the pipe insulation ASAP. PEX does not do good in the sunlight. Just sitting around like this for a day or two, it starts to break down. So I want to do my best to keep the microplastics out of my diet. Okay, it's time for Frankenpipe's monster to turn on. Checking for leaks here. I can hear the toilet is already filling up. If I do this, I'll cause a little muddy mess. But I gotta verify that it actually works. Let's see if the sink will go. Beautiful. I like the sound of that. Okay, back from the store with the proper fitting. Awesome. I can get some pipe tape and some pipe dope on this and get it going. Bing, bang, boom, just as I planned it. This is actually probably a little too close to the ground right here, but what are you gonna do? It'll be a drain. It's not gonna come out high pressure unless you mess up and open this up while this is on. I'm pretty dang happy with this. Back down the hill. Let's get it going. Back up the hill. Looking for leaks. Okay, that works. Now into the beautiful tiny house. I always feel so dirty coming in here. Everything's just so nice and clean. Just like I planned it. Steam it up. So now it's time to bulletproof all this. Let's not have everything burst again. So I've got a few rolls of this easy heat to keep things warm. Okay, tape, 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 and then here's the thermostat. This is what actually detects that the water's going cold and sends the power through. So now, power is always our issue out here. It's not gonna get solved this time around, but I'll be able to do some testing. Yeah, this is pretty tough crawling under here, but it's going. I've got the pipe wrap on there, and then this really nice 20 mil tape cinching it all up. I am very happy with how the pipe under the tiny house turned out. I need to get about 10% more done and buttoned up for it to be kind of sort of bulletproof. We will only know if it's actually bulletproof when the cold comes. I think the temperatures are gonna raise up about 10 more degrees now, so the frost threat probably isn't as bad as it has been every single night that I've been here. So one thing I just added to the Wellhouse is a little smart switch for the easy heat tape.
This is really cool, not to turn it on or turn it off remotely, but to get a push notification when the power draw turns on. So then I really will know, uh-oh, the well house has dropped below 40 degrees. It's getting cold in there. I can look at my weather station and it will be reporting the actual temperature inside the well house. I can keep an eye on it to make sure the temperature is going up. I'm very excited about the smart system stuff. It's very cool because I have internet here. I've got a Wi-Fi router. And then I also added another smart switch up there for the well pump. So I want to know when the well pump is running. If it ran, 5 times in a row over an hour, we might have a leak, something like that. So it's very cool to be able to just monitor the power, not so much turn it on or turn it off. But in the leak situation, it would be very nice to be able to remotely turn off the power to the well switch from home and know that the flooding won't be any worse.
So I went back home for about a week. I'm back at Everstoke. Finally, last night, I got the push notifications on my phone that it had gotten cold enough to turn on the easy heat, the heat strip stuff to keep the pipes from bursting. So now let's see, did the pipes burst here, there, everywhere? I will be very surprised if there's any damage in here because I'm able to actually monitor the interior temperature of the well house with this little thing, which connects to my little weather station, which goes Wi-Fi, and everything's looking pretty good. No leak around this thing, which I fixed. I had to tighten up these screws. No smell from the dead frogs or whatever else was happening last week. So this is what I was hoping to see. The water is off to the grumper because we don't have protection in the outdoor toilet yet. So let's go see if there's any damage. All right, things are looking nice and dry underneath the grumper, wet because of rain. I know I've still got a leak to fix. I gotta wrap up all this tape. I've gotta put the easy heat on. I got some work to do. Still got our frozen toilet water here. Maybe I should wash my hands. All right, I got this last little piece at the tiny house all taped up and buttoned up. It does not look like there was any damage from the frost, so the easy heat is working well. Okay, waking up the next day now, absolutely frozen morning. It's 8:30, it's still like 22 degrees. The sun's finally starting to poke out. This is a good thing. Now I can actually test if what I accomplished last night actually worked. I worked into the night to get the easy heat on there, the foam, and then the tape. It was so cold so quickly, but I was still sweating, wrestling with that pipe tape. I also ran the heat tape up to the toilet bowl on the back of the tank and then on the little swoopy neck thing in hopes that it would keep everything from freezing. I checked it out first thing this morning and it did pretty good. There was only a thin layer of ice over the top, but the tank still had just enough ice where if you flushed it, it wouldn't actually start the flow of the water. So still need more heat on the toilet bowl. This is definitely still a victory though. The tiny house is good to go, self-sufficient. The well house is not gonna bust up anytime soon. We'll fix the toilet problems eventually. I am stoked, one step at a time. Thanks for tagging along. Thanks for watching me build out. I've got more stuff to build. My hands are freezing right now. Do me a favor, get some hand warmers, get in the warm car, turn on the heater, and maybe I'll see you on the trail.